You know, our heavyweight champion of the world, or the WBC, recognized the guy, the heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay Wilder, walks around in Times Square in New York unrecognized. That's not good. You know, I mean, I'm just looking at it like this. I'm thinking to myself that Anthony Joshua, up-and-coming heavyweight prospect, is more popular in the UK than Deontay Wilder is over here. I'm interested to see what the crowd's going to look like for this fight. I'm interested to see also how Deontay Wilder is going to look going up against a step up in competition from Eric Molina and Johann Duhaupas and Artur Szpilka. Artur Szpilka is a step up. The only thing is, Artur Szpilka is Brian Jennings' leftovers. Yes, Brian Jennings still lost to Luis Ortiz, but in my opinion, Brian Jennings has a better resume than Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder 35-0, and it's just that when you look at the quality of competition, you just salivate to see him fight Alexander Povetkin, because Alexander Povetkin is going to be his toughest fight. Alexander Povetkin is a very known, credible heavyweight, and a lot of people, I'm not the only one, do not feel that Deontay Wilder is going to win. Deontay Wilder, fundamentally sound. Foot movement, somewhat, it's known that he skips leg day in the gym, sometimes. Foot movement is not, let me mute this because this is going to, I don't want your invite. I'm on PS4 now, and sent out all these, I put my PSN name out there, and now I just get like all these invites from it's crazy. Anyway, I play a lot of Black Ops. See, he can box. He's shown us against Bermane Stiverne that he can box off the back foot. He's shown us that he's not just a wild, hooking madman going out there for the knockout. He has boxing ability. After all, he is an Olympian. He has boxing ability, but it's just that there's some things missing. And we've seen that if his chin gets touched clean, he wobbles. Alexander Povetkin can fight on the inside. He can fight on the outside, and he has the power. He's not going to Bermane Stiverne it up and just stand there and allow himself to be hit. I just don't see it. So Artur Szpilka is not a measuring stick for Alexander Povetkin, but overall, it's a good fight. Now, I would have loved to see him fight Zara Glazkov. Zara Glazkov is a step up, in my opinion, from Artur Szpilka. Zara Glazkov, even though he had the controversial win over Steve Cunningham and Malik Scott, still he's got Steve Cunningham and Malik Scott on his resume. But Glazkov, for some reason, and his team decided, well, we're going to fight Charles Martin instead for the IBF title, or maybe they thought that they were going to be able to get an easier. That whole situation is just a mess. I don't know why he's not fighting Deontay Wilder. I don't know a clean-cut reason why he's not fighting for the WBC in a fight where I felt he could have made more money, and why he's fighting for the IBF, I don't know. Maybe because the WBC has a harder road of fighters than the IBF. Maybe he didn't like, the politics involved, but then you're fighting another Al Haymon fighter. Meaning Glazkov. Charles Martin is an Al Haymon fighter, so I don't know what's going on with that situation. But when it comes to Deontay Wilder, he has no more time to fight anyone else. The WBC allowed him to fight now 3 voluntaries. He beat Bermane Stiverne. He fought Eric Molina as his first voluntary. He fought Johann Duhaupas as his second voluntary. And he fighting Artur Szpilka as his third voluntary. But then in between, Alexander Povetkin fights Maurice Wack November, and basically Deontay Wilder was saying, well, why I gotta wait for him? Why don't I stay active? And you got two sides, Deontay Wilder's side saying, look, their side's holding up the negotiations, meeting, blaming it on Povetkin. And then you got Povetkin's side saying, no, it's not us. They're making things very difficult. So to me, in my personal opinion, it's looking like Deontay Wilder is saying, okay, Dan, let's try to get all these fights in. Or his team is saying, let's try to get as many fights in as we possibly can and make you as much money before you have to go into that fight. Which is smart in a fight where you could potentially lose. So But right now, he has nowhere else to go. Now, if he beats Alexander Povetkin, here's where things get crazy. If he beats Alexander Povetkin, then he's going to be allowed another voluntary, maybe two, depending on Anthony Joshua's team. But his next mandatory is going to be Anthony Joshua. So Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder is a very huge fight right there. But what we want to talk about is we want to talk about that voluntary in between. Now, let's say Deontay Wilder beats Artur Szpilka, and let's say Deontay Wilder beats Alexander Povetkin. Will Deontay Wilder, go after the winner of Glazkov versus Charles Martin, and then obtain 2 belts? Will he go after that winner and become the WBC IBF champion? Will he fight Tyson Fury, in that big international fight, maybe on American pay-per-view, or, it would be a big fight? Will he fight for that WBO, that WB Super World that Tyson Fury has? Or will he, take another BS fight bullshit? Because that's really what it's probably going to be, a bullshit fight in those WBC top 15 rankings. And then try to do the same thing he did with the Povetkin fight and get all these voluntaries in before he fights Anthony Joshua. So there's paths for him to go. But I think at this point in time, he got to stop taking the easy route. People don't want to, come on, I'm not the only one talking about it. People don't want to see Eric Molina, Johan Duhaupas. People barely want to see Artur Szpilka. It's just that Artur Szpilka has a large Polish following, and he's a fighter that we know is going to come out there and come forward. He's going to come there and fight. He's not going to just stand there. So, and he only has 1 loss, but at the same time, like I said, he's Brian Jennings' leftovers. So, it's going to be interesting to see, and don't get it twisted. There is confirmed, I guess you could say that, but confirmed rumors. Well, if it's rumors, it's not confirmed. But basically, there was news that Deontay Wilder did try to find a way to fight Shannon Briggs. But if he would have fought Shannon Briggs, the WBC would have stripped him, or would have had to have been a non-title fight. So that fight could have possibly happened if Shannon Briggs was ranked or whatever the case may be. Also news is that Artur Szpilka is crying that there hasn't been any drug testing, that he hasn't been drug tested. But yet on a media call, here's where things got fishy. Deontay Wilder said, I was just drug tested yesterday. But then when it came to Szpilka and the media calls right here on the channel, he's saying I haven't been drug tested yet. So, there's just some shady business going on around there. But Deontay Wilder seems like, an all clean athlete. He don't seem like the type of dude that would get involved in that. Or then again, it's just certain people you just don't get that vibe from, so, but then again, you never know with these athletes, man. You never know, but that's interesting to see is who's doing the drug testing. And if Szpilka hasn't been tested, then how did Deontay Wilder get tested? It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, I am waiting I'm doing this video just hours before I'll get confirmation on whether I'm going to the fight or not. I will be out there a couple of days for about the media workout and maybe the press conference. Also, I'm going to be at Danny Garcia's media workout. So it's going to be a busy week of content coming up. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.